1 in Toronto, and it was all Islanders for most of this one. 4-0 the final score. A shutout for Semyon Varlamov, and Andy Green got him on the board right away. Hello, everyone. Welcome inside our MSG Network studios. I'm Shannon Hogan, alongside four-time Stanley Cup champion Butch Goring. Butchie, we did not have the game broadcast, but sure was fun to watch the Islanders be dominant in this opening game against the Flyers. That's exactly what they needed to do to set the tone.
Well, I thought they played a 40-minute game, Shannon, to be honest with you. And they got me a little nervous in the second period, but then they regrouped in that third period and had a very strong third period. So a great start for the Islanders. The first game is always important, and they say in the league, win the first, the third, the fifth, and the seventh if it goes 7. Those odd games are always important. It establishes the way the Islanders play, and obviously a very big confidence builder for them. I don't know if they need confidence, but it's always good to win that first one.
Yeah, I think it definitely does something for a team, and it especially is good when you can set the tone early on in a game. They were able to do that here in Game 1, and Andy Green was fantastic.
He really was, and you know, when you look at that first 5 or 6 minutes for the Islanders, that's Islander hockey. I mean, they took it to the Philadelphia Flyers. It was a simple game. It was get the puck in deep, get in on the forecheck, and then win the battle, finish your checks. Look at there's good support. Now they've got control of the puck, and they just keep moving it around. Shot on net, and watch the retrieval though. They just never give up on the play. Good face-off win. Mayfield on the net, and the Islanders go towards the net. But look at them; they're winning the races. They pick up those loose pucks. Good movement. Find the holes, look for a pass, and Pajot again strong along the board. But this is what the Islanders are all about, is just being able to forecheck. Good pinching right there that Green keeps it in, and then the Islanders get in again. Look at the back checking. Beauvillier is all over, got a spear, and then look at Green moving in. So everybody's moving, everybody's involved. They're getting pucks towards the net, and that all 3 lines really stuck it to the Flyers. So they caught them flat-footed just a little bit. Maybe the Flyers didn't expect such an early push. They thought maybe they'll play, a little bit like a 15-round boxing match. Oh, they're going to come out and spar a little bit. No, not at all. The Islanders said, let's get an early lead. And it was much like, Shannon, like we've seen against the Capitals, the Islanders were ready to go right off the opening faceoff.
Yeah, they needed that, and it was interesting because they outshot the Flyers 15-4, which was unbelievable. We saw those great chances, and it was kind of amazing at the end of the period that they only had the 1 goal. It was Andy Green. He did the great work. He got him on the score sheet right away, but there was other things that was noticeable in the first period from the defenseman.
Well, it really was, and then when you outshoot a team that badly in the first period and you only come away with 1 goal, that's always sometimes, well, not always, but sometimes it's a bad sign. But Andy Green had a real strong first period. Look at the position. He finishes his check. That's all about angles. That's experience. Good stick work. Never gives up on the play. And then he's going to make a tremendous block. Oh, let me not give up on the play. Maybe I don't have perfect position. Let me stick that skate out. And then, of course, moving to the middle of the ice. Nice pass from Brock Nelson. A little bit of screen in front. Josh Bailey's there to provide a screen. So that man there, 37 years old, well, he just did it all.
37 years young is what he would say. But
Okay.
the first playoff goal since April 16th, 2010. It happened to be against the Philadelphia Flyers. Of course, he was wearing a New Jersey Devils jersey at that point. So far in this playoffs, in the postseason, 9 games, a goal, 2 assists, 13 blocks, a +7, and he is the second oldest Islander to score a postseason goal. Ed Westfall, your old teammate, scored one at 38. Good to see Andy Green be rewarded for the hard work, and good to see the decision by Barry Trotz to put him into the lineup pay off.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and coaches will tell you that, when you're winning hockey games and the team's playing well, and as much as Johnny Boychuk certainly would add to the team, those 6 guys are playing terrific, and they're all playing about the same amount of minutes. There's a tremendous amount of chemistry going on there right now, especially with Nick Leddy and Green, as they just seem to be a really good fit, which is surprising in one way that they've been as good as they've been from a chemistry standpoint, but a lot of experience there. Stanley Cup certainly with Leddy, who I continue to be amazed at the way he's playing. It's like he's found a new life out there. He is skating so well. We've seen him transport that puck out of the end time after time. He's strong in the corners. He's winning all the battles. So he's really enjoying the playoffs. And along with his partner, they've been as good as anybody on the ice.
You mentioned at the top of this segment, the beginning of our post-game show, that you liked 40 minutes from the Islanders. That middle period was maybe not their best, but you know what? Even though the team might have not been playing at their best, Semyon Varlamov was at his best.
He really was, and a lot of times when you kind of snooze in that first period like Varlamov was, he didn't have a whole lot of action. That first couple of shots can get by you, but Varlamov, as you and I talked at the top of the show, he's been unbelievable. He was great in the Florida series. He was great in the Capital series. And he's on a roll right now. I mean, his positioning is so good. He's tracking it. He's picking it up early. His reflexes are great. And he's just putting himself in the right position all the time. He's making a lot of saves. His glove hand has been real good. So, I mean, this guy here is just as good as he can be. And as I said, he's on a mission right now. And if you don't get scored on, really tough to lose.
And you know you're a good goaltender when you're mentioned there in the same breath as Billy Smith. First Islanders goaltender to record back-to-back playoff shutouts. And he is 8-2 so far in this postseason, a 1.50 goals against average, 941 save percentage, 15 saves in that second period. And that really was a difference maker for this team, Butch, because it gave them the life to go back into the third period and do what they've done well this entire postseason, get another goal, and then shut it down.
Absolutely, no doubt. I mean, he's the first star. I mean, I don't care if the game was 4-0 or whatever happened from start to finish. Without this guy playing as well as he did, particularly in the second period, the Islanders maybe not win this hockey game. Yes, he gave them an opportunity to build on that 1-0 lead going into the third, and the Islanders got back to playing the type of hockey that they've been playing all season long. They took a little snooze in that second period, but the goaltender bailed them out.
For the fans that are tuning in on a national level, and they might not have been following the Islanders closely, they see JG Pageau and they go, wait a second, he's with the Islanders? Yes, of course, they picked him up at the deadline, and that move continues to pay off. He, again, was strong and an important part of this Islanders win.
Boy, oh boy, Lou Lamoriello, he's a genius, isn't he? I mean, you couldn't have got a better fit for their third-line center, if you will, than certainly Pageau. And he continues to score timely goals. This is a great forechecking job. You talked about Ross Johnson. Leo Komarov gets it out there. You talked about depth scoring. That's the Islanders' third line, so they come up with a big goal. I talk about it all the time. These goaltenders all go down, shoot it up and around the toy department. Doesn't have to be all the way up there, and that's what Pageau does. And then Barzal, quick pass to Jordan Eberle, return pass, and then over to Anders Lee, and that's chemistry. He didn't have to look. Barzal knew exactly where he was, but I love the early play to Eberle because it gives him time to react, and then he makes a nice little pass. It's a give and a go, and Anders Lee is as happy as a captain ought to be when he scores a goal. So yes, the Islanders had a lot of balance in the scoring, and that's always good when you're winning.
Well, JG Pageau, 5 goals in 10 games in the postseason, 2 assists in his career in the playoffs in 45 games, 17 goals and 6 assists. You saw what he was able to do there in the third period. The captain, Anders Lee, also important as the Islanders were able to close this out and then add an empty netter to make it a 4-0 win. Butchie, during our pregame show, AJ Malesko said it was the highlight of her career. One of the highlights is she was able to get to your keys. I feel very honored now that I get to rehash the keys because, once again, they were important for the Islanders and they were able to execute them.
Well, they had a little bit of value to them because, you know, I said the number one thing is to play your game. And the Islanders played their game for the first and the third period, and we saw how effective they can be when they play their game. I wanted them to be a lot more physical on Provorov and Hayes. They didn't really get to that as far as I'm concerned. They need to lean on them, not only when they are in the corners, but every time they move the puck. And that's in the neutral zone and the defensive zone and the offensive zone. Just little body on them all the time. So they didn't quite get to that one. And then thirdly is, again, in the first period and the third period, you saw them control the boards again. They started to win those battles. And again, when they start to do those things, there's turnovers, there's second chances. And so the Islanders, for the most part, did a lot of good things out there. And Barry Trotz will be saying, okay, guys, now we have to play 60 minutes.
I knew you were going to say that. I'm like, the head coach, Barry Trotz, probably echoing Butch's sentiments and always room for improvement, even when you have a shutout. Great stuff with Butchie.